Hi, and welcome to Deep Thoughts Podcast with Diana. That's me. And this is just a short introduction to help you get an idea of what I'm thinking with the podcast. So, the podcast is not live yet at any means. I'm still working on how to set it up, and I'm working on which guests I'm gonna figure out to invite to the kind of deep dives, which I will explain to you in just a bit. But so the idea is that I wrote a book with a friend of mine called Deep Thoughts. It's in Danish, so but the thing is that it's 60 questions that invites you to think deeply about yourself, your environment, your everyday life and your values. And it's something I think we're not quite doing enough these days. That's why I'm also thinking that a podcast with this theme would be a good idea. And so the idea is to interview all kinds of different people. I know a lot of podcasts try to only invite and interview famous people or someone who achieved a whole lot of things. That would be amazing to do as well, but I want to try to actually invite all kind of different people because I think it's more relatable. So what I want to do is make these episodes where we dive deep into some of these questions. This could be what makes you nervous, or what footprints would you like to leave behind? When are you lonely? When are you lonesome? When do you feel alone? Like stuff like this. That's really something that might have an easy answer on the top, but if you think a bit more about it and dive into it a little bit more, then there can be some really interesting conversations or just thoughts about this. And the reason I want to talk to people from all different kinds of background is that I want it to be relatable. So I think often when we talk to very successful people, it can be hard to relate to. I know that people can tell their story and how they got to where they are, but the thing is that sometimes it's more relatable to hear that, okay, so the feelings I'm having around this issue of death or sorrow or happiness or jealousy or whatever it might be, I'm not the only one. So that's the idea, to create a space where we can share. So if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, feel free to write a comment, and I will contact you somehow. I'll write you back. I need to figure out the details on that part as well. But the thing is, if you write me and you have a webcam and a microphone, it could be your headset or whatever, you could be a guest. And it will be, when you don't necessarily have to have a camera if you don't want to be on camera, but I would like to be able to put the episodes out on YouTube. But otherwise, it's going to come out as a podcast, and I'm going to do live episodes like this on YouTube as well once in a while, with some kind of theme that I think is interesting, or if I've had some thoughts, or maybe I want to give my input to one of the questions, just basically tell you how I feel about a question. I think I will end this live video with one of these questions, just to give you an idea. And then the idea here with the podcast is that it's much about finding yourself and taking the next step towards who you want to be and where you want to be. So besides the fact that we're going to have these, or I'm going to have these all different kind of people in the podcast, I'm going to strive to have like every 5th episode some kind of deep dive into an area that can help us move forward. So it could be, how do I plan my diet so that it will help me be the best me? How do I meditate? How do I don't know. Can maybe hypnosis can be interesting. All kind of different areas that could help one take the next step. It could also be related to work. So how do I become the best version of myself in a team? Or it could be a lot of different areas. So if you have any ideas to areas like this and someone to talk to within these areas, then please also feel free to write me. Just write in the comments and I'll figure out how to contact you. So this is kind of the start of the podcast, and I'm gonna say and the YouTube show or the vlog, or I don't know what it's called. So if you have any questions or any ideas, feel free to let me know. And to give you an idea, I'm gonna tell you about, I actually today had a conversation with my boyfriend about being nervous. So one of the questions that I could ask my guests would be, what makes you nervous? And today I had, it's a bit embarrassing actually, I've had my driver's license for like 4.5 years and I almost never drive. I never got into driving. So that kind of makes me nervous. We went out driving today, and usually I live in Copenhagen in Denmark, and it's a small city. Well, it's not a small city, but it's fairly small. So you can bike almost everywhere. I have like 6-7 kilometers to work, so I bike back and forth. And it's very, very nice, but it also means that I'm not training my driving skills. Well, driving in a car, I'm biking. But yeah, anyways. And the thing is that I have this thought that I'm not going to be able to react in the correct way if something happens. And it frightens me, so I get nervous. And we're talking about it again and again, that when you get your driver's license, you still need to actually learn how to drive. You just learn all the basics and all the rules, but you need to learn how to drive. So this makes me really, really nervous. And I'm trying to figure out, other than this fear of doing something stupid and running someone over, what it is that makes me this nervous. And I've never really been in a car accident, so I don't think it's that, but I think this thought process of figuring out what is it that makes me nervous about it will help me get past it and help me get to be a better driver and get rid of this feeling of nervousness. But again, I also think that the little bit of to be a little bit nervous also maybe helps me be a better driver. So it's kind of a dilemma too. I don't want to be too confident, but I also don't want to be too nervous. Okay, so this was just kind of I don't know. Yeah, it was just the thoughts I had today about the whole being nervous thing, but it could be a lot of things. Like, you can write to me down below what would make you nervous, what kind of experience or thoughts, or what situations do you get nervous in. I also remember, of course, exams. Most people get nervous in exams. I think the top fear in the world is public speaking. I think it comes before dying even. I'm not quite, don't take me up on that, but I think that's what I heard. So what makes you nervous, and how do you have any ideas or any strategies to get past it in the situation. That could maybe be one of the deep dives to how to get past nervousness in general and how to figure out what to do in those situations. Well, I'm not quite sure if this if this gave an idea really, but yeah, I think I'm gonna say that that was that for today, and then I'm gonna try and come up with another question one of these coming days to give you maybe a better idea of what I'm thinking. I have this question that is, what footprint would you like to leave when you're not here anymore? So what would you like people to remember you by, and what's important for you to kind of be remembered by? I think I'm gonna leave that one. Think about it, and then maybe you can have some input for me as well. And then I'm gonna talk about it when I go live next time. I hope it will be within the week, but it kind of depends on a lot of different stuff. So, but please feel free to write me in the comments, and I will definitely write you back. And then have a great evening. Bye.